Well, this week, our Desmond Shaw has been flying over some of LA's most unique communities.
And in tonight's Look at This, he is over a neighborhood that helped usher in the age of the automobile, but today is very pedestrian friendly.
Well, take a look at this stretch of Wilshire Boulevard. It's the Miracle Mile. We're talking about roughly the area inside the boundaries of 3rd, Highland, Fairfax, and San Vicente, and it's a neighborhood that's completely reshaped the trajectory of how Los Angeles would be developed. Let's rewind the clock now to the early 1920s when city life was centered around downtown, pedestrians, and electric trolley car lines. And according to PBS, this part of Wilshire Boulevard was still a dirt road surrounded by barley fields and oil wells. But developer A.W. Ross, well, he had a particularly bold idea. He envisioned a totally new commercial district where the car would be king. Ross's other entrepreneurial friends, they scoffed at that idea, being so far from downtown and with no rail connection. At least one contemporary implied it would take a miracle for it to work out. But in 1921, he bought 18 acres here and employed some revolutionary tricks. Dedicated left turn lanes and timed traffic lights, the very first in the United States. He required business owners to provide parking. He wanted big buildings with large fonts that would look appealing through a windshield. It would take a few years, but by 1929, with cars becoming very popular and the arrival of the wonderfully named Desmond's department store, the Miracle Mile, as it was now being called, was a resounding economic success. Ross had arguably more than anyone else at the time flipped the script on how not just LA would develop, but a lot of other American cities after World War II. But rather poetically, the Miracle Mile would be a victim of its own success. As the city swelled outwards, areas like Century City and suburban malls in the valley sucked the life out of the Miracle Mile by the 1980s, kind of like how the Miracle Mile drained downtown LA's economic vitality in the 1930s. Those massive department stores on Wilshire mostly vacant, crime increased, and the section of Wilshire in need of a second revolution. Now, the LA County Museum of Art and La Brea Tar Pits, they were already here, and LACMA underwent a really big expansion in the late 1980s. So today's Museum Row kind of coalesced around all that, with the Peterson Automotive Museum taking over one abandoned department store. The old May Company building is now the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, and LACMA is undergoing yet another massive expansion. And in a totally ironic twist, this is now one of the most walkable areas in the entire city of LA, with restaurants, bars, and grocery stores, and it will be even more so with the imminent arrival of the expanded D-Line subway underneath Wilshire. From farmland to car dominance to pedestrian paradise, it's been a very fascinating century for LA's Miracle Mile. Taking a look at this from SkyCal, I'm Desmond Shaw.
And if you'd like Desmond to take a look at something interesting in your neighborhood, just write us at lookatthis@cbs.com.